I've worked in the news industry for over 20 years, and I have to be honest with you, the last 2.5 years, I've never known a time like it. The coronavirus pandemic, Brexit, the end of the Donald Trump presidency, the end of the Boris Johnson premiership, the Black Lives Matter movement, the war in Ukraine, the death of Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth II, the accession of King Charles III, and of course the cost of living crisis. All of these events have, they've taken up a lot of our time. I've had a ringside seat at so many of them, and they have, of course, kept me very busy. But not forgetting also that in the world of news, we also have light-hearted and finally stories that we also talk about, including, for example, this year we announced the winner of the Fattest Bear competition in Alaska. We also reported on the freeing of Britney Spears, and also, if you go to the BBC News website, there is a story with the headline, "Would you let a robot lawyer defend you?" And I promise you that is a real headline, and for the record, no, never. The best thing about my job is that when I sit down at the beginning of the day, at my studio desk, or if I'm in front of a camera on location, to be honest, I never really know how that day is going to end and where I'll be at the end of the course of those few hours while I'm on air. So whilst I'm sure today's event will be as interesting and as valuable, please, no giant bears, no robot lawyers, and no breaking news. Why are we here? Well, today we want to discuss some of those pressing issues facing the legal services profession: diversity and inclusion, improving customer and consumer trust and confidence, and promoting the very high standards of professional ethics. There are many of you from the legal services profession, both in this room and indeed joining us online. We have lawyers, judges, regulators, consumer groups, charities, academics, students, and also representatives from the Welsh and UK governments. It's very heartening to see all of you here, because you know and we know that it's only by all of these groups working together that we can tackle some of the challenges facing the legal services sector. So we thank you all for being here and for being willing to listen and to engage. We don't want today to be a question of people just talking at each other. Today must feel like action by all of you. We want to hear your ideas, we want to hear your initiatives, we want to take those forward, and we'd very much like those to be implemented. As in all professions, equality, diversity, and inclusion are, of course, of vital importance. Professional services should reflect the society they serve. But we must also remember that diverse teams perform better. They are proven to be more innovative and also collaborate more effectively. Many people I talk to me about ESG and social good, but good intentions must lead to change. Now, earlier I mentioned the cost of living crisis as something that's very high on our news agenda, and I'm sure you'll agree that now is very much the time for the legal services profession to step up and to help those who are in need, whether it be with people dealing with welfare or employment issues, or those who are trying to avoid those issues and who need assistance in order to do so. It's also important that lawyers secure the trust of the public, and believe me, as a journalist, I know all about that. So we must recognise the importance of professional ethics and upholding the rule of law. Lawyers must be relied on to adhere to very high standards, and I'm sure that all of them do. Those who work in legal services have a key and vital role to play, ensuring that access to justice is for all who need it. And I think we can all agree that there has never been a more important time to come together to help reshape legal services, to better meet society's needs. That's why we're here. There's no denying that times have been very tough for this profession, but we hope today's conference will take all of you, to some degree, a step closer to reshaping legal services for the better.